So in terms of branding versus demand gen, what are your thoughts? So does this change once the startup grows? And what's the ideal mix and when to invest in which channel more? What are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. I think you know, when you're early stage, you need to first invest in product marketing, which is, invest first in the clarity of your value proposition, on the functional aspect of it, okay? And then obviously, the branding aspect when you're early stage is the founder, right? The founder is the face of the company. The founder is the brand, because nobody knows about your product. So you need the founder to go out there and evangelize through their story, through their personal experience about why people should care and listen and ultimately try out their product, right? So this is in the very early stage. So basically product marketing, messaging, and founder-led content or brand, right? Then, at some point you're going to reach product market fit, and you're gonna start getting a lot more, grow a lot more organically and get more deal flow. And then you raise your Series A, and then you start maybe, layering in slowly but surely. I think as the company evolves from 0 to 1 million ARR, and then from 1 to 10, and then from 10 to 100, there's obviously progressive shift from the functional aspect of messaging and marketing, which is more around product marketing and founder-led content, into more of a branding, from the product, from the messaging perspective. You're going from the functional aspect to the more squishy, squashy, visual, emotional aspect of branding, right? And that's when you start hearing keywords like all-in-one, all-in-one messaging tool, or connect everything, do anything. It's more of a clever versus clear, type of messaging, right? But why? It's because ultimately before, when you're early stage, you normally are building for individual contributors, right? People that are in the trenches that need to find a way to get better at their job, right? But when you are a larger company, you're most likely gonna sell more to enterprise or mid-market, which ultimately you're gonna sell to more decision makers and leaders, right? And these people react better to this type of emotional type of messaging, because they don't need a better way to get promoted or do better their job. All they do is they manage teams, they run their budget. So I think they respond better to, or it's easier to sell them with these type of messages, right? And then that's when as you grow, you'll have more budget to spend, you have more growth, and that's when you invest more into adding a sales organization, or investing more in performance marketing, or in branding campaigns, stunts, or something that is completely not necessarily super related with your product, and I think that's okay, as far as you basically keep in mind that you keep relevant to your ICP, and you balance things out with the emotional and the functional, because that's I think a very hard challenge, as you grow, you basically lose focus on the functional aspects, and it becomes more of an ego game, a squishy squashy game, how are we just better than competitors, or how do we invest more in brand? Let's just do a podcast and let's throw all these things. But which again, it's probably still good to a certain point, because it does evangelize the brand. It does evangelize like it does build a relationship with your customers, but how do you balance that out with the functional aspect? I think like that's the hardest bit, you know,